We're getting some reaction now to this breaking news, and on the line, constitutional law expert Pierre de Vos. Pierre, this is a pretty shocking move.
Actually not so shocking, because the consequences of this is that the report will be tied up in court for, well, probably years to come, which means that the content of the report will not have to be dealt with for the next year, 2 or 3.
Constitutionally, where do things stand here?
Well, the one argument that they have raised in the press statement is that Section 198 of the Constitution says it's Parliament and the Executive that deals with national security, and therefore the Public Protector had no right to investigate. That is, I don't want to be hysterical, but that is absolute nonsense. No court in South Africa who is even vaguely familiar with the Constitution and the jurisprudence of the Constitutional Court is going to make that finding. If they do, they will be laughed into oblivion by their colleagues. So the other reason is irrationality. They claim that the report might be irrational, but that is a very difficult threshold to meet. So personally, I would be very surprised if any court, but especially the Constitutional Court, actually reviews and sets aside this Nkandla report.
Well, I was going to ask you, government seems to be eyeing a High Court bid here. What do you think a High Court's going to make of it?
Well, the High Court will have to follow the jurisprudence that the Supreme Court of Appeal has already set down in the other cases in which the Public Protector report was reviewed, and also the Constitutional Court jurisprudence, which says that the executive, even the president, is never above the law, and so can be investigated also by constitutional bodies. So I would be, even a High Court, no matter who the judge is, I think this is not, let me put it this way, I'm very glad I'm not the lawyer who with a straight face will have to make these arguments in court before a judge.
Pierre, you've read the Nkandla report. Do you think in any way it's confusing or contradictory?
Well, I think there are reasons to find that the report is confusing and contradictory. For example, the finding that the President didn't lie to Parliament. I'm not sure that is correct based on the facts that the Public Protector herself has found to have existed. So in as much as it is contradictory, and in as much as it's not perfectly clear, it is probably in the favor of the President and of the government of the day, not the other way around. I think it's been very careful, to a fault really, not to apportion blame to the President or to government ministers or whatever, unless it was absolutely clear that it could be done.
Cynics might point to the timing of this statement barely a week after the elections. I cynic, yes. Of course it was done after the election. That's what governments do. They hide the unpopular decisions until after the voters have spoken. So, but maybe it's just because I am perceived to be a clever person that I'm saying that. All right, Pierre de Vos, we will leave it there from the University of Cape Town. Well, eNCA's Karen.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com